There's a warm and wonderful man, Dan Deerdorf, without the helmet right there. All-American from Michigan, many times an All-Pro. He's announced his retirement. He is not playing. He could play, but Randy Clark and Carlos Scott are getting the playing time for the Cardinals at center, where Deerdorf had been moved in the final stages of his great career.
I'm sure there's some defensive linemen who wouldn't consider him to be warm and wonderful.
I think you're right there. Dan, though, with a very fine career ahead in radio and television in the St. Louis area, and along with Jim Hart, owns a restaurant here in town.
Kickoff for Seattle.
Norm Johnson will kick it off. Going to the second half, the Cardinals are leading at 28-21. And here we go. Earl Farrell in the middle at the 2. Farrell's at the 15, at the 20, at the 25, at the 27. Coming in to make the play for Seattle, Kerry Justin. And Lomax will start at quarterback. Should mention that Paul Moyer now is playing the strong safety for the Seahawks. Moyer's been in there for most of the game. Easily has played on the specialty units.
He suffered from that toe injury that commonly referred to as the turf toe, and as you mentioned before, hasn't practiced in a couple of weeks, but did play in last week's game.
Otis Anderson, the single setback behind Lomax, and he's got the football. And he gets up to the 32-yard line. Lomax handing it off to Anderson, and Jeff Bryant, 77, on the tackle. The Cardinals have Randy Clark at center. Bostic and Steve are at the guards, and Sharp and Robbins are at the tackles. Number 67, Luis Sharp, born in Cuba, academic All-American at UCLA. Quite a player. You'll be watching him as we look to Neil Lomax out of Portland State. Anderson now 76 yards on 16 carries. Second down and 5. Marsh going in motion. Lomax throws back to LaFleur, the tight end, and LaFleur is bumped out of bounds short of a first down at the 36-yard line. Greg Gaines, number 56, having a fine game. The right outside linebacker made the play with Dave Brown, number 22. It is Green and Bryant at the ends. Robinson and Butler in the middle. Schultz and Gaines outside. Nash, 72, the nose man. Justin and Brown are at the corners, and Moyer and Harris at the safety spots. Third down, 1. Following Morris for the first down. First down, Cardinals. Butler, 53, on the tackle. The Cardinals started today's play 12th on offense, 7th rushing, 13th passing. One of their problems, interceptions, 18 of them. There's the rushing today for Anderson, winning the battle over the rookie at this point in the proceedings. The Cardinals on up more points than any team in the NFL coming into today's game. Lomax wheels it out. That's Greg LaFleur again, the tight end. And LaFleur is up to the 44-yard line.
You know, LaFleur hasn't caught an awful lot of passes. As a matter of fact, 7 coming into today's game. They don't throw a lot to their tight ends. And I think what they're doing is that Seattle likes to play, a lot of coverage where their linebackers will get fairly deep drops. And I think that Lomax is letting those linebackers get back into their drops, and he's just dropping the ball underneath to his tight end. In this case, it was Greg LaFleur. The other one is a big, tough guy. He's up and down. That's Doug Marsh.
Second down and 5 from the 44. Anderson, nothing doing. Anderson is stopped, and it was Jacob Green and Sheldon Robinson, 79 and 57, leading the way. Houston and Detroit are tied 17 all with 9:12 left in the third quarter. Oliver Luck has just thrown a touchdown pass to Dressel in that one. Pittsburgh leads Baltimore 7-6. They're early in the second period. Allegre has kicked a field goal for them just moments ago for Baltimore to make it 7-6. Third down and 4. Anderson coming in motion. Lomax in trouble. Goes down. Lomax may have audibled there at the line of scrimmage. There seemed to be a mix-up. Jacob Green played it well along with Jeff Bryant, 77.
And Mark Hicks, number 63, the linebacker, is going to come from the outside. Watch, he'll come right in there. There he is, 63. He comes in and he finishes him off along with 79, Jacob Green. And Jay, I think you were right. Neal did see something he didn't expect, and he tried to audible out, but he wisely held onto the football. He didn't put it up for grabs.
Carl Birdsong picked up on waivers from Buffalo by the Cardinals. Third-year man doing an excellent job punting. Boy, this is a boomer. Paul Johns downfield at the 14, at the 20, the 25, out to the 29-yard line. Johns with a fine return. Johns shaken up. We'll be back. Cardinals lead it 28-21.
There is a revolution on the American road, an automotive revolution led by Dodge. The latest evidence, Dodge Daytona Turbo Z. Backed by standard 550 protection, turbocharged, fuel injected, front wheel drive. The fantastically balanced, performance bred Dodge Daytona Turbo Z.
Some things speak for themselves.
10:24 left in the third quarter. St. Louis leading at 28-21 over in Kansas City. 13-9. The Chiefs of John Mackovic leading Cincinnati. Breach has just kicked a 23-yard field goal. 10:14 left in the third quarter there. Seahawks. Craig at quarterback. Warner and Hughes in the backfield. Johns and Largent, the wide receivers. Young, the tight end. First down from the 29. Warner stopped for no gain. Groom, 78, again making a fine play. And as they unravel it, we'll take a look at number 78 there.
That's the lowest Grooms.
Yeah, here are the first half statistics, Gene.
Well, you can see the Seahawks only 43 yards rushed in the first half compared to 108 for the Cardinals. Passing, again, the Seahawks trail only 97 yards. The Cardinals 167. Turnovers, they're even up 2-2. Time of possession, they're fairly close.
The injured player is Eloy Grooms, the 9-year veteran. And while he's being attended to, we'll take time out. The Cardinals lead the Seahawks.
Here comes the all-time favorite on a sesame seed bun. He's McDonald's Big Mac. He's always been number one. The leader of the pack. McDonald's Great Big Mac. 2 pure beef patties, lettuce, pickles going in. Special sauce is a hit. Gotta give him a spin. Mellow cheese melting down. He's at the top of the charts. All over town. Leader of the pack. Big Mac. McDonald's and you.
There's only one thing you can really call small about the Dodge Ram 50. The price.
We are Dodge.
There's so much that's big, like standard payload, 1,630 pounds, larger than any top-selling small pickup. And performance, more horsepower than the base Ford Ranger or Chevy S10. Dodge Ram 50 doesn't look or act like America's lowest priced truck.
We are Dodge.
Now get up to $1,000 cash back on 83 models.
Sunday, it's an NFL 83 doubleheader. The Raiders look to the playoffs against the Bills from Buffalo. Then the Wild West show continues. The Chiefs take on the Cowboys, plus other regional action on NBC.
Grooms pronounces his first name Eloy, and he is out of the ball game. And here's where it happened. You'll see him, number 78.
He's a victim of his own players. Watch, he's underneath the pile. When you see number 23 come in, that's Benny Perrin, he pushes the crowd back over the top of Grooms, and there you can see the trainers on the sideline. They're attending that left knee, and it just got buckled under.
Rush Brown, 69, takes over at right tackle. 2nd and 9 for the Seahawks. Craig throwing, and it is complete. Up at the 45-yard line, Paul Johns on a comebacker made the play. Penalty marker down, back downfield, and it could be holding. Referee Ben Drythe indicates holding against Seattle. Well, that'll nullify a very fine play by Paul Johns and put the Seahawks in a hole with 9:47 left in the third quarter.
Paul Johns had run a very good pass route.
Bing, offense, 67.
Well, let's watch from the inside. Oh, there it is.
McKenzie again.
Oh. And he's holding the fellow who had come in for Grooms. That's number 69, Rush Brown.
Second down, 19. Dornick now in the backfield, number 33. The give goes to Warner. And Warner is bumped down as he got across the 25-yard line. E.J. Jr., 54, and Lee Nelson, 38, making the play against Warner. The word on Eloy Grooms is a strained left knee, and we have no word yet as to whether he might return to the ball game.
Well, Harold Jackson has just checked into the game for the Seahawks, replacing Kurt Warner. They'll go into their spread formation probably. 3 wide receivers, 4 wide receivers.
There's Harold out of Jackson State. 3rd and 13. Craig goes down, and it was David Galloway, number 65. Galloway, who played at Florida, he was a defensive end in college, number 2 draft pick, the 5th sack for the Cardinals.
And there you can see he was going over and giving number 75, Curtis Greer, a hug, because when those guys get sacks, it's usually a result of coordination. And Floyd Peters loves to run those stunts where he has his defensive lineman. You know, one guy will loop outside and the other guy will come inside, and they keep changing it around. It makes it difficult for the offensive line to block.
Jeff West punting for Seattle. Another high hanger, fair catch called for, and gathered in at the 42-yard line. And the fans applaud because, of course, the Cardinals turned one of those over earlier. That was Willard Harrell back there taking the punt. 8 minutes, 19 seconds remaining to be played in the third quarter here in St. Louis. The Cardinals lead it 28-21.
Introducing new Gillette Foamy Gel. The gel that gives you more than any other gel. More lubricants. Better beard setup. More lubricants. Smooth takeoff. More lubricants. For the closeness and comfort you want in a shave, get new Gillette Foamy Gel. The gel that gives you more.
Working hard when the pressure's on could mean perspiration odor. Right Guard antiperspirant helps stop wetness better than the leading spray, as it kills the bacteria that can cause perspiration odor.
First and 10 from the 42-yard line for the Cardinals. Otis Anderson 80 yards on 18 carries. Lomax is 12 out of 15, 176 yards, 4 touchdowns, all of them to Roy Green. Out to Tilley. Tilley at the 45. The little guy gets to the 46-yard line. He's bumped hard there. Leading the way was Gaines, 56.
Good tackle by Dave Brown. He had a lineman coming out in front, Terry Steve, but he faked him out and came up and made the tackle.
Jets 14-7 over Buffalo, and there's Green Bay leading Minnesota 19-7. Ricky Young has just scored with 12:20 left in the third period. 2nd down and 6 from the 46-yard line. Lomax to Anderson. Anderson got to the 47, a pickup of about 1. Coming in was number 53, Keith Butler, to make the play. Also Joe Nash. Nash playing that nose position ahead of Manu Tuiasosopo and doing quite a job. Nash, a free agent find out of Boston College, number 72. Our congratulations, incidentally, to the Huskies. They shut out USC yesterday. And you're an old Stanford grad. You always like to see USC get beat, don't you?
All the time.
Oh. Washington now with the inside track to play Illinois in the Rose Bowl. Lomax on the run, and down he goes. Back at the 35-yard line, leading the way, Don Dufek, the extra defensive back. 2nd sack for the Seahawks. Dufek out of Michigan, an All-American.
Dufek, who's done such a fantastic job on special teams, gets a chance to come in on a safety blitz. Comes up with a sack.
Birdsong will punt, and Johns is back to receive. Easley is in the game now as a short man. 3 punts, a 43-yard average today for Birdsong. Johns is going to let it go inside the 20, inside the 15, and a penalty marker goes down as the ball is down at the 13-yard line, and there is some shoving and some battling there. You can see Parlavecchio, who is out of Penn State, a first-year man picked up on waivers from Green Bay, and he was into it a little bit. And we'll wait and see. The penalty marker down. Parlavecchio talking to his head coach, Jim Hannafin. Ben Dreit discussing the infractions with his officials. Largent right there listening, along with number 75, Curtis Greer, for the Cardinals. Greer's going to have the option, apparently. 6:19 left to play, third quarter. It was a 52-yard punt. Cardinals leading at 28-21. At 49 points scored in the first half, and nobody's been able to put a point on the board here in the third quarter. That's Dave Craig, Coach Chuck Knox. Knox led the Bills to the AFC East title in '80. 5 years at Buffalo. Jim Hannafin played for Toronto in the CFL. The discussion continues. Ben Dreit is still trying to sort matters out. And Knox is saying, come on, let's play football out there. Knox is rather amused by the whole thing. Here's what caused it. There was Parlavecchio really got hot at somebody, and of course we don't know what that somebody did to make him that hot.
Kicking team had a man downfield. The receiving team had a block in the back. We're going to play it over.
Well, scratch the punt, and Jim Hannafin says, what? There's Dan Deerdorf, the veteran. Chuck Knox. Chuck was a great star at Little Juniata, Pennsylvania College. 101 wins, 62 losses, and a tie coming in his professional coaching career to today's action. The ball is going to go back to the 36-yard line, and Birdsong will punt it again. Parlavecchio just came off the field. They took him out of the punt unit, and he really upset.
Back behind that goal
Johns downfield, and this is a boomer. Johns at the 19. Made a good move. Penalty marker goes down. He got it back to the 22. But I think we're going to have a clip.
They're going to call it on Gregory Johnson, number 27. Gregory's upset because I think he feels that just when he made the block, the fellow he was blocking on turned his back. There's the indication.
Downfield for the Cardinals on the play was Leonard Smith, number 45, a 45-yard punt.
Well, maybe we can see it. Oh,
right
well, there's the end of it. Actually, I think what happened is that Gregory Johnson didn't necessarily block him. He just put his hand out.
In the back, receiving team number 27.
The call goes against the Seahawks, Gregory Johnson. And the Seahawks down 28-21, start from their 9-yard line. Wide receiver set to the near side of the field. Craig may have called an audible here. He gives it to Warner. Warner busts it up over the 15 to the 19-yard line. Stop made by Lee Nelson, number 38. Kansas City now leading Cincinnati 20-9. Kenny has hit Scott on a 21-yard touchdown pass. They're in the third quarter with 4 minutes left. Philadelphia and Chicago 14-all. Jaworski to Woodruff for a 5-yard touchdown pass. 6.5 to play in the third. Houston leads Detroit 24-17, and they are early in the third quarter. Houston may be going to win their first game. Here's the measurement. And it is a first down for the Seattle Seahawks. 5:50 left to play in the third quarter. Cardinals lead at 28-21. Seattle 6-4 coming into today's game. The Cardinals 6-1. Warner 59 yards, 15 carries. Seattle from their own 19-yard line. Kurt Warner the single setback. Wide receiver set to the left. Warner cuts it back in the middle. And Warner gets to the 25. Let's go to New York now. NFL 83 and an update.
Thank you, Jay Randolph. You mentioned this touchdown pass a moment ago. Thought you'd like to take a look at it. Bill Kenny at quarterback for the Chiefs. There he goes into the shadows to Willie Scott. He's got it. 20-9 Chiefs third quarter. Back to you, Jay.
Thank you, Len Berman. You and the crew doing a great job updating us on the actions all afternoon. John Makovic's offensive line doing a good job protecting Kenny over there at Kansas City. And he's been more effective, of course. Here's Warner. Oh, he almost broke it. Almost got it out of there for a big gainer, but Dave Aarons, number 58, made the stop along with Rush Brown, 69.
Well, Kurt knew the linebackers. You can see number 51. That's middle linebacker Kurt Allman. He's coming in on a linebacker blitz. Warner knew that, and he knew if he'd broken through there, he had clear sailing. There was only going to be one defensive back that he had to beat for the touchdown.
Warner now with 75 yards on 17 carries. First down at the 34. Warner again, out to the 37-yard line. He's wrapped up by number 65, Galloway, number 54, E.J. Jr. The Cardinals, offensively 7th in rushing in the NFC, averaging 4.4 per carry, 13th in passing. A cold day here. It's Neil O'Donoghue, born in Dublin, Ireland. Used to kick for Tampa Bay. Does the kicking now for the Cardinals. Second down and 6. Warner the single setback. Warner again. Gets to the 40. Just over the 40. David Galloway, 65, and Kurt Allerman, number 51, making the play. Clock running now with 3 minutes and 25 seconds remaining in the third quarter. It's been scoreless. Both clubs got 7 in the first period. The Cardinals with 21 in the second, 14 for Seattle in the second. They scored on a pass to Largent in the final 10 seconds. 28-21 at halftime, and we've had a scoreless third quarter to this point. Third down and 4. Craig under pressure throws, and it is complete for a first down. That's Charlie Young. Young, the tight end, took it, was stopped immediately by Charlie Baker, number 52. Young, of course, a free agent, played for San Francisco. He also played for Philadelphia, also played for the Rams. He's been around.
He's been around, but I'll tell you, they're fortunate to have him in Seattle. He's a great leader. 21 receptions, 283 yards, 1 touchdown. But I tell you, when he speaks, the young guys listen because they know here's a guy, you know, he's done it on the field. Works hard, studies late, always has film. Chuck Knox is just really fortunate and feels great about having him on his team.
There's an update on the first down control. Out to Warner. Warner got 1 block, but it didn't do any good because Charlie Baker played it perfectly over there. Baker, number 52, played on the right side last year. He's the left linebacker today, number 52, number 3 draft choice in his 4th year out of New Mexico.
He avoided that block by Edwin Bailey, number 65, and I think Bailey felt he had him in his sights, but Baker gave him a leg, took it away, made the tackle.
Bailey playing for Reggie McKenzie, number 5 draft choice in '81 from South Carolina State. Started all 9 games last year. He's spelling McKenzie at the moment. 2nd down, 9. Craig going for Largent, and he couldn't hold it. Largent trying to come back and spin around to take it, and is very wet in that area around the 35-yard line. Lionel Washington had the coverage with the middle linebacker, 51, Kurt Allerman.
If that had been a dry surface, Largent would have had this reception. This half of the field continues to be wet. You see the defender, he falls down. Largent knows that it's slippery, so he kind of slides around trying to maintain his footing, but he just couldn't get enough traction to get back to catch that one.
Craig is 10 out of 18, 138 yards, 2 touchdowns. Dornick is now in the backfield.
Blitz, safety blitz.
Dornick picks it up. Here is the pass over the head of Largent. Largent covered on the play by Cedric Mack, number 47. Also, Leonard Smith was back there as the Cardinals were in their prevent defense, and the Seahawks will have to punt with 1 minute and 10 seconds left in the 3rd quarter.
They disguised, St. Louis disguised that safety blitz well right into the last minute. Didn't allow Dave Craig time to audible, so he just put the ball up. He waited as long as he could. He put the ball up, hoping that Largent could get underneath.
West, 5 punts, 37-yard average, but the excellent hang time. Willard Harrell lets it go, and it's into the end zone. It'll come out to the 20 on the touchback as we are inside a minute left to play in this 3rd quarter. It has been a scoreless 3rd quarter up to now. 52-yard punt, 28-21 Cardinals.
Televideo personal computers equip the professional for success. Because Televideo's innovative design produces powerful, sensibly priced computers that communicate with one another and grow as rapidly as you do. Televideo, personal computers that equip you to attain that most coveted objective, a business boom. Televideo, personal computers. Get in on the boom.
Who makes the best-built American cars? Based on National Highway Traffic Safety recall data over the last 2 years, Chrysler does. Because Chrysler had the lowest % of recalls. And only Chrysler has the confidence to back the cars it builds for 5 years or 50,000 miles, with protection on the engine, powertrain, and against outer body rust-through. Based on recalls alone, Chrysler makes the best-built American cars. And with 550 protection, they're not only the best built, they're the best backed.
At Shea Stadium, it's all tied up now. Buffalo and the Jets. Here's how. 3rd and goal for the 19. Joe Ferguson fires. He has Byron Franklin in the end zone. It's tied 14 apiece. Back to St. Louis now.
Back in St. Louis, Jay Randolph and Gene Washington with you. The Cardinals operate from their own 20-yard line.
You can see that shady part of the field. That's where it's wet.
Lomax out to Anderson. 2 blockers in front of him. He's at the 25, gets to the 26. Bruce Schultz, the outside linebacker, number 58, did a nice job on the play.
Bruce Schultz has started every game since he joined the Seahawks as a rookie out of the University of Texas. 57 tackles coming into today's game.
His hometown, I read the other day, is now the fastest growing city in the country, Austin, Texas. A little bit of information for you. How you like that?
Would never have known that, Jay.
2nd down and 6 from the, or make it 2nd down and 4 from the 26. Pitch back to Anderson. He's in trouble. No gain on the play. Joe Nash, the nose man, in there along with Shelton Robinson.
And Mr. Green, Jacob Green.
Oh, Jacob is having a tremendous year. He really is. The gun sounds, and we come to the end of the 3rd quarter. The score, the Cardinals 28, Seattle 21. We'll be right back after this from your local station.
Tonight, hits in flames.
Go off.
When he's customized to crack a ring of classic car crooks.
No time to lose.
Knight Rider. Then do overcrowded airlines want to make you scream? Fear of flying gets you down. Don't delay. Make your reservations for airplanes tonight.
There is a special feeling in Oldsmobile.
What makes the new Olds Forenza a whole lot of fun to drive? A whole lot of things. Forenza offers front-wheel drive, an available 5-speed and overhead cam engine, and handling as sporty as its name. But what makes this fun-to-drive car special is that it's an Oldsmobile. So it's not only fun to drive, it's fun to arrive.
There is a special feel in an Oldsmobile.
Gene Anderson, King 5 News at 5 weeknights.
No score in the 3rd quarter. Defense has prevailed. There is Floyd Peters, the man they call Sergeant Rock, coaches the defense for the Cardinals.
I was a defensive coach with the 49ers when I was playing there for several years, and has done a fantastic job every place he's been.
3rd down and 3 from the 27-yard line.
Lomax is audibly.
Hand off to Anderson. Anderson doesn't get the first down. Looked for a moment like he might. Nash made a fine play, swarming over there to bring him down. As you mentioned, out of the shotgun, Lomax audible decided to give it off to Anderson. They don't get the first down, and the Cardinals have to punt here in the opening moments of the 4th quarter.
Seattle is going to get this ball in fairly good field position. Paul Johns is back there. Of course, what they would love to do is to be able to get this ball and get off that wet half of the field.
Johns is on the wet portion, down at the 30. Carl Birdsong to do the punting. Rush. He gets it away. Fair catch at the 30. So the Seahawks are going to have it in pretty good shape. When we come back, it was a 41-yard punt. The Cardinals lead it 28-21.
You're all set, sir.
Good time.
You're watching a ticket agent's class at the American Airlines Learning Center. Here we taught Debbie Bridges the fastest way to get you through the airport with our one-stop check-in. Now she can give you boarding passes for all your flights at once.
Let me.
But some things we didn't have to teach her.
Now smile.
We're American Airlines, doing what we do best. Cool The best of the Rockies is yours.
The clean of the Rockies, the fresh of the Rockies. Brewed the Coors way, natural and pure.
Coors to you, the clean of it, all night through. The fresh of it, Rocky Mountain Gold. You got it. The best of the Rockies is yours.
Monday, will Boone's family be disgraced when a prank backfires and could ruin his future?
I'm afraid I'll have to suspend the boys.
But that means Boone won't graduate.
Monday.
Jay Randolph and Gene Washington with you. A scoreless third quarter. I did the Cardinal preseason games. You did the Seattle preseason games. This is kind of fun for us today.
Well, they didn't have any defense at all in the first half, but I think they went in the locker room and said, gentlemen, defense is 50% of this game.
First and 10 from the 31-yard line. Craig gonna put it up. Has time. Throws. Largent. Largent all the way down to the 45-yard line and a first down. Wayne Smith, number 44, on the tackle. Largent getting a big reception as the Seahawks try to get back in this one.
But look at this throw. That's a beauty. Dave Craig just drills it in there. And that's what a receiver wants when he's downfield about 15 or 20 yards. You don't want that ball in the air a long time to give the defensive back time to recover. So you want a nice crisp throw. You can see as soon as he broke, turned to the middle, the ball was there on time.
Largent, 7 for 110, 2 touchdowns. First and 10 from the 45-yard line. Young coming in motion. Craig over the middle, going long. Largent, touchdown Seattle. 2 big plays for Craig and Largent, and the Seahawks are within a point of tying this one up. He beat the rookie Lionel Washington again.
Boy, I tell you, Largent and Roy Green are putting on some show here today.
Largent with 3 touchdown passes caught. Green has caught 4 for St. Louis. Here it is again.
Well, Largent had him beat so much, Lionel Washington, you know, he tried to make a lunge to catch up, and he just fell down. Largent just ran right by him, and Dave Craig delivered a beauty.
Johnson can tie it up. And he does. We have 13:09 to play. The Seattle Seahawks have battled back, and they tie it up here, 28-all.
There is a revolution on the American road, led by Dodge, and it's changing the way America drives. With a 5-year, 50,000-mile protection plan, the most front-wheel drive models in America, the most turbocharged models.
An American revolution.
A turbocharged revolution called Daytona, a transportation revolution called Caravan.
We are Dodge, an American revolution.
This is the moment. It's time
Exercise.
to start.
Right. Start slowly at first, but start. Exercise.
You know you've got to find your way. That new tomorrow starts today. This is the best of life.
I've decided to start.
You can do it, and we'd like to help.
Visa.
Steve Largent there with Jim Zorn, but it's been Craig throwing to Largent today. 3 touchdowns, 9 on the year for Largent. Johnson will kick off. In the middle, Earl Farrell set to receive it.
Well, Largent is giving the rookie cornerback, Lionel Washington, some lesson today.
Farrell at the 7, at the 15, the 20. It opened up in the middle, and he was able to get to the 26-yard line. For the Seahawks, Eric Lane, number 37, made the tackle. Today's game is brought to you by Dodge Cars and Ram Tough Dodge Trucks. Dodge, an American revolution. By Alcoa Aluminum Company of America, world leader in aluminum technology. And by Anheuser-Busch St. Louis, the Brewers of Michelob. Some things speak for themselves. 28-all with Gene Washington, Jay Randolph here in St. Louis. From the 26, the Cardinals with Lomax. He's going to go upstairs, long on first down for Green. Couldn't get there. Didn't look like he had a prayer to make that catch, yet he almost got there. Excellent coverage by number 26.
Kerry Justin. You know, Roy Green has the ability, when you're a wide receiver and you're going long, the first thing you try to do is you want to try to catch up with the defensive back. Once you do that, you have to save just a little bit of acceleration, so when that ball is thrown, if it's thrown a little far, you need a little bit to go get it. And that's what Roy Green did. He kicked it into fourth gear, went past the defensive back, but he just couldn't get quite to that one because it's thrown a little bit too far to the inside. But he's a great athlete, tremendous athlete with a lot of speed.
Second down and 10 from the 26. That's Marsh going in motion. Lomax looking and throwing complete. That's Roy Green for a first down at the 40-yard line. Kerry Justin on the tackle. Green with 4 touchdown catches today, really putting on a show. He's from little Henderson State down in Kentucky. Came to the Cardinals as a defensive back, and he can fly.
Well, the thing that impresses me so much there is a comparison of the stats. Largent, 8 receptions, 155 yards, 3 TDs. Green, 5, 4 touchdowns, 123 yards. But what impresses me most about Green is the way he runs his pass routes. He's smooth and precise.
And Lomax trying to get it to Tilley. Tilley was not looking, and that was almost picked off by Dave Brown, the cornerback over there, number 22.
Tilley missed the audible. That was an audible situation. You can see Tilley's going down the block. He's running a play that was called in the huddle, but Lomax came up to the line of scrimmage and he changed the play. Tilley didn't pick it up.
Tilley was very surprised to see Brown going for that football over there. Second and 10 from the 41. We have 12-11 left to play. Score tied 28-all. There's Tilley. Marsh comes to the wing right. And Tilley in motion to the far sideline. Out to Anderson at the 45. First down to the 46-yard line. Otis Anderson. Shelton Robinson, number 57 on the tackle, along with Greg Gaines, 56.
You love to get the football out to the outside to Otis Anderson and give him some room to run. He gets some good blocks, but he does it mainly on his own. And you have to swarm tackle. If you're going to bring down Otis Anderson, you have to swarm tackle. One guy very rarely will bring him down because he's got such strength in his legs.
That was 64, Clark, that led the way, blocking for him out there. First down at the 47. Bruce Scholes, number 58, came in to make the play. A big sack there. Takes them all the way back to the 43-yard line. That's the 3rd sack today for Seattle.
Well, there's number 58 in the middle of your screen, the outside linebacker, Bruce Schultz, coming in virtually untouched for the sack.
Jacob Green was right there with him.
Well, Lomax was looking for Roy Green. He had Roy going down the middle on that post again. But as soon as he got back there to set up, he had Bruce Schultz right in his face.
Second down and 19. Wide receiver set to the far sideline. Lomax stepping up and throwing, and a great catch by Tilley. Oh, Pat Tilley made a fine catch, and what a throw Lomax made under fierce pressure. Dave Brown on the coverage. It looked like he got the first down. Very close to it over there at around the 36-yard line.
Well, Neil Lomax operates the best on the move. You know, he's a rollout quarterback in Portland. When he drops back, his feet are so nervous that he tends to, it tightens him up a little bit. When he starts moving, that's when he's at his best. As you said, Pat Tilley came up with a terrific reception. And what a display the receivers are putting on in this football game.
It's been quite a show. It was a first down. Here's Anderson at the 30. Penalty marker goes down as Anderson got it to the 28-yard line. Keith Butler, number 53, wrapped up Anderson. You heard the voice of Ben Dryce say, do we have a face mask? And he's talking things over there with Dale Williams, his head linesman. Face mask the call against Seattle. And Chuck Knox, who's seen his team come back to tie it. Now a worried man.
Well, when you're trying to tackle Otis Anderson, I guess you grab for anything you can get a hold of.
Face mask,
He just
defense,
banged
number
in there.
58. That's a first down.
Penalty call against Bruce Schultz, number 58.
First down at the 23-yard line. 10.5 minutes to play in this game. 28 all.
Seattle had better double cover Roy Green.
Randy Love is in the game. That's Love. Love gets it inside the 20-yard line. Randy Love out of Houston has played basically on the specialty teams. He has 96 yards and a 3.6 rushing average coming into today's game. Green 79 and Schultz 58 on the tackle. Ten minutes to play.
Second and 6.
Cardinals in Seattle tied at 28. Tilley and Green come to the right side. Love is the single setback. That's Tilley going in motion. Out it comes to Green. And Green is down to the 13-yard line. First down. John Harris, 44, made the stop as Green got the job done.
How would you like to be number 26, Kerry Justin? Look at this. He's coming up. Now he's got two blockers going to come. Oh, two big
Wiped
linemen.
him out, didn't they? They really wiped him out.
Two linemen coming out about 260 each. And there's 26. Look, he just disappeared from your screen.
9 minutes to play. First and 10 for the Cardinals at the 12. Randy Love. Nothing there as Love could not get outside of Greg Gaines. Gaines has played a fine game today. Number 21 also there, Paul Moyer.
And Jeff Bryant, number 77. He strung that play out. Did a good job. Jay, I wonder if Otis Anderson is injured.
He's
you have
come back
to
in. He's just come back in now, I believe. Apparently he had a problem, but is back in there as Love took over for him. It's just Otis Anderson, the single setback. LaFleur, the other tight end, is in there now. That's him, 89 in motion.
Oh, double motion.
Double motion. Penalty markers all over the place. They give it to LaFleur, and he's down to the 3, but they're going to bring this one back. You can't do that.
Only in Canada.
Only in Canada, right. Or on the sandlot somewhere, maybe.
Well, you can. There's one now.
And here comes. Oh. Well, this will cost them. Chuck Knox looking out at the scene. 5 consecutive NFC crowns in Los Angeles.
5-yard penalty.
You heard Ben Dryth indicate it. I mentioned that Knox won 5 consecutive NFC crowns with the Rams, and he got fired.
No, it was too dull.
Too dull, huh?
They want to win exciting in Los Angeles, right? They just didn't want to win. Exciting.
Well, we've got a good one going here. 28 all. 8 minutes left to play. Second and 14.
Oh,
there we go again. Timeout. Timeout, says Lomax. He says, we got to get this figured out. And the fans here are a little disturbed. Deerdorf talking with his coach there and saying, we have definitely got a problem.
Well, timeout, St. Louis, first timeout.
Yeah. Well, with the timeout, the Cardinals will try to get things squared away. We'll take time for this message.
There's only one thing you can really call small about the Dodge Ram 50. The price.
We are Dodge.
There's so much that's big, like standard payload, 1,630 pounds, larger than any top-selling small pickup. And performance, more horsepower than the base Ford Ranger or Chevy S10. Dodge Ram 50 doesn't look or act like America's lowest priced truck.
We are Dodge.
Now get up to $1,000 cash back on 83 models.
Next Sunday, we invite you to join Len Berman. NFL 83 will start the day off. A doubleheader on NBC. Many of you will see the Raiders at Buffalo. Other games include Baltimore at Miami, Cleveland, New England, San Diego here at St. Louis, Houston at Cincinnati. And the second half of the doubleheader, the Chiefs will be at Dallas, Seattle at Denver. Check your local listings. Love and Anderson are both in there. Out of the shotgun. The pass comes to Anderson. He's at the 16-yard line and ridden out of bounds by John Harris, the free safety. Number 79, Jacob Green over there also. Clock stop with 8 minutes remaining in regulation time, 28 all.
What Seattle is trying to do with their defense in this situation is prevent the touchdown. We have about 8 minutes to go in the game. They want to keep St. Louis from getting to 6 points. You know, they're in field goal range. St. Louis gets 3, then they get the ball back, march downfield, can go ahead on the touchdown themselves. That's what they're trying to do, is prevent 6 right here.
Third down and 14. Lomax throwing and almost intercepted. John Harris almost picked it off as they were trying to go to Mike Schumann, an extra wide receiver, number 84 out of Florida State. And now Neil O'Donoghue will come on to attempt the field goal. It's on the wet portion of the field as we look again at this toss from Lomax.
He tried to get the ball to Schumann, but you can see number 44. That's John Harris. He was in good position. Poorly thrown ball. That's one of the few passes that Neil has not thrown well today. Thrown behind the receiver.
Neil O'Donoghue, 10 out of 19. Benny Perrin holding. 33-yarder on the way, and it is good. 33-yard field goal for Neil O'Donoghue, and the Cardinals regain the lead. We'll be back with more right after this.
You know, at Midas, we've installed over 48 million mufflers, more than any other muffler chain. In fact, compare us to any of them, and you know what you'll find?
We've had more repeat customers than they've had customers.
We've done more foreign cars than they've done cars.
And with our Midas guarantee, we've installed more free mufflers than they've sold. When it comes to experience, no one can touch Midas.
Trust the Midas touch.
Now Washington's better.
Way better.
Nashville's better.
Far better.
Los Angeles is better.
Really better.
Now Holiday Inn is a better place to be.
Almost every 7 days, a brand new Holiday Inn hotel opens in the locations you want the most. Better hotels in the best locations. That's why we're number one.
We're number one, worldwide host. First with what you want the most.
Call 800-HOLIDAY.
Holiday Inn is a better place to be.
Arnold Palmer, Gary Player, Jack Nicklaus, and Tom Watson charge after a $360,000 purse. Golf's greatest foursome plays the Skins Game. Thanksgiving weekend on NBC Sports.
33,280 watching here at Busch Stadium with you as O'Donoghue kicks off. Zachary Dixon. Dixon, who broke one earlier for a touchdown, brings it out. George Schmidt and Randy Love on the tackle. And Seattle will put it in play from their own 26-yard line. Dixon went 94 yards with a kickoff in the first quarter. Craig coming back on. He's 12 of 21, 207 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. Largent has caught 8 for 155 yards. Warner has 80 yards rushing. Craig throwing, and it is complete. at the 35-yard line to Paul Johns. Wayne Smith, 44 on the coverage. New England leading Miami 17-6 as we take a look at this again.
There's Paul Johns, number 85. He just runs about a 12-yard square out. Of course, the defensive back, that's number 44, Wayne Smith. When he has man-to-man coverage, particularly when your team is leading, he has to give you room. He can't let you get on top. So that opened up that little pass out to the flat.
In that New England game, Steinfort has just kicked a 21-yard field goal with a minute and a half left in the third quarter. Warner and Hughes in the backfield. The handoff going to Warner. Warner bumped out of bounds hard on the far sideline by number 48, Lionel Washington. Looked like he got the first down. The Jets lead Buffalo 17-14. Leahy has just kicked a 48-yard field goal. A minute left in the third quarter. Green Bay 22-21 over Minnesota. Kansas City continues to defeat Cincinnati. Chicago over Philadelphia now in the fourth quarter. Cleveland 20-0, shutting out Tampa Bay in the fourth quarter. And Houston 27-17 over Detroit. Pittsburgh leading Baltimore 17-6. Here it is 31-28 Cardinals. Craig going downfield, and it is incomplete. Paul Johns had a shot at making the catch. Lionel Washington was right there with him.
Paul had his hands on it. It was a great throw from Dave Craig. He gets inside. He's going to the outside. This is a beautiful throw. Oh, right in the hand.
Should have made that catch. He's been a real spark since coming back from the knee injury. He was injured in preseason.
You know, when he came back, he broke a punt return for 75 yards. And that goes a long way for building your confidence. Coming into today's game, he leads the AFC in punt returns, a 13.3-yard average.
Dornick is in the game now, along with Warner. Out of the shotgun, they give it to Warner. Warner cuts it back in the middle and didn't get much as Curtis Greer, big number 75, number 1 draft choice in '80 out of Michigan, made the play. Clock running as we come to 7 minutes remaining in regulation time. The Seahawks have 3 timeouts left, the Cardinals 2. It was 28-21 Cardinals at halftime. We had a scoreless third quarter. Seattle has a touchdown. The Cardinals have a field goal here in the fourth period. Warner's out of the game. Harold Jackson is in there. Byron Walker in. 4 wide receivers, 3rd and 9. Cardinals showing a blitz. Craig throwing, and the catch made by Dornick. And they call it incomplete as he was banged hard by Cedric Mack, the extra defensive back for the Cardinals, number 47. Oh, it's punting time coming for Seattle.
Well, the Cardinals weren't giving up anything deep for Seattle to throw underneath the coverage. And look at this hit. Oh, that's picture perfect. That's number 47, Cedric Mack. When you're catching a football like that and you have to jump up high, someone hits you. Unless you have your hands wrapped around that ball tightly, it's almost impossible to hold on to it.
Jeff West, 7 punts today, 39-yard average. Willard Harrell downfield, set to receive the punt. 6.5 minutes to play. Harrell at the 25, at the 30. Gets it up to the 34-yard line. Penalty markers are down. Keith Butler, 53, was there to make the tackle. And there is a marker down, and Ben Dright discussing things.
Probably it's against Seattle. The outside men, or not necessarily the outside men, but someone got downfield before the ball was punted. So they have an illegal man downfield, and St. Louis, since they have the ball in good position, will
illegal
probably decline
man downfield, number 37 on the kicking team, decline the penalty. First down the other way.
Oh, the Cardinals have it. Jim Hannafin's Big Red leading the Seahawks 31-28 here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. We'll be back right after these messages.
There is a revolution on the American road, an automotive revolution led by Dodge. The latest evidence, Dodge Daytona Turbo Z. Backed by Standard 550 protection, turbocharged, fuel-injected, front-wheel drive. The fantastically balanced, performance-bred Dodge Daytona Turbo Z.
With all these points, the record's mine, that's clear. Let's buy a man a nice cold beer. Bull! Bull! You get a big bone brew when the bull is here. The Schlitz Malt Liquor Bull will give you more things than beer. So don't say beer, just say bull. The Schlitz Malt Liquor Bull. Hey, the bull really scores! No one doesn't like the bull.
Glen Burman in New York and elsewhere in Missouri, things are really heating up. Ken Anderson at quarterback for the Bengals. They're trailing in the game. He finds Chris Collinsworth. The point was blocked, but since he's within 5, back to St. Louis.
All right, thank you, Len. And, of course, Anderson coming back after the neck injury. Looked very, very sharp. That 55-14 victory last week over Houston. Lomax has been sharp. 19 out of 25, 241 yards, 4 touchdowns, all to Roy Green. First down from the 33. Cardinals with Otis Anderson running the football, trying to run the clock here. 6 minutes, 10 seconds remaining in regulation time. Anderson now has carried the ball 23 times for a total of 98 yards.
Well, you saw the clock just ticking away. We're down to 5 minutes, 55 seconds now. I think, you know, a lot of times, though, you have a tendency to get very conservative in this situation. There you see a score. That's the final, Cleveland over Tampa, 20-0. But you can get conservative and go away from the things that got you where you are.
Otis Anderson has limped off. Randy Love, number 40, is in there. And that's Love getting about a yard. Love, as we told you, basically a special teams player, but getting an opportunity to run today because of an injury to the talented little running back Stump Mitchell. There's Anderson. He's off. That's John Omohundro, the Cardinal trainer, the balding gentleman to his left. Joe Nash on the tackle. And now coming into the game. Sopo came in, and the handoff went to Wayne Morris. Jets and Buffalo are now tied up 17 all as Danilo has just kicked a 30-yard field goal. They have 8.5 left in the fourth quarter. Time for the Cardinals to do some punting now. These two clubs put a lot of points on the board in the first half, but it's been tough sledding offensively in the second half. Birdsong, 5 punts, 43-yard average. Paul Johns, downfield, set to receive. A fake, and coming up is Green. He's got the first down. Roy Green has done it all today, and they love it here. First down, Cardinals.
Just when I was thinking that St. Louis had been too conservative, run the ball, then going to punt it away. What do? They snap the ball to the up back, Roy Green. Picks up enough for the first down. They maintain possession of the ball 3 minutes and 40 seconds ago. Now the pressure is really on Seattle to get that football back because they need a field goal just to tie.
First and 10 St. Louis at their own 48.
Cardinals from their own 48. After the fake and successful first down play. Lomax out to Anderson. Gets away from one man and gets it to the 50-yard line. Well, Anderson did a good job making a few yards out of that. Jacob Green on the tackle.
Shelton Robinson was out there. He had a shot at him, but Otis made him miss.
Clock is running with 2 minutes, 55 seconds remaining. Anderson, 7 catches today, 47 yards. He is caught now on the year 33.
Second and 8 at the 50.
Seattle has 3 timeouts left. The Cardinals with 2. Clock running. Penalty markers go down. Tootie Robbins, number 63, the right tackle for the Cardinals, made a move, and it'll cost them 5. There's
Ball
Tootie.
start, offense 63.
I'll tell you how good a prospect this guy is. He's 6'4", 278 out of East Carolina. They have a fine football team, and they say this fella at 278 can run the 40 in 4.8. How about that? That's putting them down pretty good.
Fast as a lot of defensive backs.
That's right. 2nd down, 13 from the 45. Marsh in motion. Lomax to Marsh. Marsh to the 45-yard line, short of a first down. He got inside the 45. The tackle made by Dave Brown, number 22. Marsh, the number 2 draft pick out of Michigan. He's been injured much of his career, and that's hampered him. They had high hopes that he would do a job for them at tight end, but those hopes have not come to fruition the way they had liked. You see Lomax coming off as we're going to get the 2-minute warning right now. 2 minutes left to play in regulation time. And 31-28, the Cardinals lead Seattle. Now, here comes another one of those fantastic finishes.
Alcoa presents Fantastic Finishes. 1980 Bart Starr's Packers have a chance to beat the Bears in overtime. Chester Marcole's kick is up and blocked. The ball bounces back into Marcole's hands. Nothing for Chester to do now but tuck it in and run. He picks up a needed block along the way and cruises 25 yards into the end zone. The Packers win 12-6 on their own blocked field goal on the game's final play.
For the past 6 summers, Americans have had a special reason for picking up aluminum cans. For every pound of cans collected during certain promotional periods, Alcoa has sent a penny to the U.S. Olympic team. Over 2.5 billion cans have been recycled and almost $900,000 donated to the U.S. Olympic Committee. Recyclers of America, Alcoa salutes your gold medal performance.
We can't wait for tomorrow.
Otis Anderson comes back onto the field for the Cardinals. Anderson had gone out, limped off, but he's in there now, and it's 3rd down and 3.
You would expect that the Cardinals would keep the ball on the ground, and you would also expect that they would give the ball to Anderson. They certainly don't want to turn it over.
16. Big play. 3rd down, 3 at the 45 of Seattle. There it is. Anderson, first down and a lot more. Run out of bounds inside the 30-yard line. John Harris making the play, but how about the play of number 32?
Well, if I had number 32 in my backfield and I was in the same situation, I'd give the ball to him. I think what happened is that he confused Seattle with the set. He wasn't directly behind the quarterback. He was off in a situation, moved to the side, and it looked as though they were going to pass the ball. They gave it to him on a little trap. Had a nice hole and picked up a big gain.
His 26th career 100-yard day. 24 carries, 114 yards. Here he is again. Another first down. Harry Justin made the tackle. The Cardinals are controlling it with that man, number 32, Anderson, right now. He's hurting, but hanging tough. And one of the Seahawks is shaken up back at the 30-yard line.
It's Bruce Schultz, number 58. And you can see that Anderson, as you mentioned, he's hurting himself. He's had to go off several times, but they need him in there now. I tell you, that's a sign of a great player. He can come back and play under adversity. Look at him run.
Seattle timeout is charged because of the injury in the last 2 minutes. 31-28, the Cardinals. If If you're just joining us, the Cardinals have 4 touchdown passes to Roy Green. Seattle has 3 touchdown passes to Largent. It was 28-21 at halftime, a scoreless third quarter. Seattle with a touchdown in the 4th period. The Cardinals with a field goal of 33 yards by Neil O'Donoghue. That's the difference in this game. Coming up on Friday night, prime time for you. This is Friday, November the 25th. You'll want to join us for a boxing special. Undefeated WBC heavyweight champion Larry Holmes, who's now 44-0, faces unbeaten Marvis Frazier, the son of the former heavyweight champ Joe Frazier. A 12-round bout live from Las Vegas, Nevada. Friday night, November 25th, right here on NBC.
Well, there's 58. Schultz is being assisted off to the sideline. Let's watch again as Otis Anderson runs his football. We mentioned before he's been banged up. He's had to go off the field, but look at the way he just drives. Keeps running. Big, strong, powerful legs. Lunging for that extra effort.
1st and 10 from the 19, and there it is again. Anderson. And Anderson is near the 15-yard line. Keith Butler, number 53, made the stop. They put the ball just outside the 15. And now another timeout.
Well, Seattle is obviously trying to preserve a little time on this clock so they can get the ball back. It's 1:28 to go. The problem is, though, if they don't stop the Cardinals right here, they're really not going to have much time. They're not going to have any time at all if they don't stop them here. And you know, the way Otis is running that ball, the way his line is blocking, I think they've blocked so much better today than they did last week. Last week, I think they gave up, was it 5 sacks, or they had 5 turnovers, but they gave up a lot of sacks last week. They've done a much better job of blocking today. Seattle needs to do something to try to disrupt that momentum, to try to get that ball back. So we may see them start blitzing right now.
I want to talk a little golf with you. That might be as fine a foursome as ever been put together. Arnold Palmer, Gary Player, Jack Nicklaus, Tom Watson. November 26th and 27th, the Skin Game on NBC. And it comes your way on Thanksgiving weekend from the beautiful Desert Highlands Club in Scottsdale, Arizona. And you'll see it here on NBC. They're going to get it on there. The Skin Game. We've got it going here, 31-28. The Cardinals, 1:28 to play. 2nd and 7 at the 16. Anderson again. Didn't get much. It's really tough going in there. And the clock stopped with 1:23. Leading the way for the Seahawks, Keith Butler again. He's played a fine game today. And shaken up just a little bit, Shelton Robinson, 57. There's a final. The Kansas City Chiefs, John Malkovich, they're playing good football. They stopped Cincinnati. The Bengals had been much improved of late. And we're still thinking playoff, but are derailed a little bit today. Seattle now is out of timeouts, Gene. We have 1:23 left to play. While we have a moment, our thanks to everybody here in the booth today. Nice to be working, as you mentioned, in my hometown. Get to sleep in your own bed at night. That's very nice, and great to have you here. And our producer, Ron Kershaw, and veteran director Dick Klein, and all the crew bringing you the sights and sounds of the National Football League and this interconference action here today. And to the support crew here in the booth, our thanks. It's been a lot of fun, and we've still got 1:23 of the regulation time.
Well, there's still plenty of time. I remember out in San Francisco in a playoff game against Dallas. About 1:20 to go. I'm sitting on the bench. We're going to play the Redskins the next week in the championship game, and Roger Staubach comes in, throws a touchdown, onside, get it, and throws another one.
All right, here is 3rd down, 5. See if they give it to Anderson again. They do. And he does not get the first down. Now you would anticipate they'll kick the field goal. The gain was down to the 12-yard line. Number 77, Jeff Bryant over there with Greg Gaines, 56. And are they going to kick the field goal?
They may not. They may just take the penalty. They may stay out there and just take the penalty. Then they'll kick it.
Clock is running down to 50 seconds, and there's 14 seconds left on the 30-second clock. Now 10. All right, it is 4th and a long 2. The handoff to Anderson. Doesn't get it. 32 seconds left to play. And Harris and Green make the tackle on Anderson. And right now, Seattle needs a couple of big plays, the kind that they had earlier when Craig and Largent got together for 2 big strikes, and they moved right down the field.
The problem is that they have no timeouts left. So if they throw the ball down the field, and in a prevent situation, the place that's open is in the middle of the field. So if they get a completion, they have no timeouts left. They're really going to have to hustle down to try to get another couple plays off.
Chicago defeats Philadelphia, and here Craig throws down the middle, and it was almost intercepted. He was trying to get it to Kurt Warner. Lee Nelson got his hand on it. That Chicago final again, 17-14. Chicago over Philadelphia. And Houston has won it 27-17 over Detroit. How about that? Big day for Chuck Studley and his group down there. Earl Campbell's been all upset, but they won a big one. Here it's 31-28. 26 seconds left.
Again, the area that's usually open is down the middle. And I think he's going to have to take his chances.
Out of the shotgun, Craig. Throwing long. Warner, incomplete. Well, he's tried to go to Warner on 2 plays. This is Jay Randolph along with Gene Washington, Busch Stadium in St. Louis. 19 seconds left in regulation time. The Cardinals lead Seattle 31-28. A day when the Cardinals have had 4 touchdown passes from Neil Lomax to Roy Green. Seattle 3 touchdown passes, Dave Craig to Steve Largent. Right there, Mr. Fixit of the National Football League. Chuck Knox, his club, coming in here 6-4, down by 3 right now, facing 3rd and 10 from their 14-yard line. Gene, they're out of timeouts and they're in deep trouble.
Well, he's going to have to throw it down the middle. The only problem is no timeouts. Even with the completion, they're going to have to hurry down to try to get another play off.
Safety. 2 points are added onto the board for the Cardinals. And with 11 seconds left to play, the Cardinals have got a big victory here as David Galloway came back there to make the play. The 6th sack of the game for the Cardinal crew. 2 points, 33-28. And this is a big win for the Cardinals and a very disappointing day for Seattle.
Well, Seattle is coming into this game off of a couple of big victories over the Raiders, over Denver. This is a situation it's a normal situation where you might be a little flat, but I don't think this is their problem because everybody was talking about how important this game is. What happened is that the Cardinals have played so well. The offensive line has played well. Lomax has just been phenomenal. Of course, Roy Green, I haven't seen a display like he's put on today here by a receiver in years. I think Paul Warfield was the last guy I saw to have a day like he's had.
You saw a very happy Jim Hannafin coming onto the field. Norm Johnson will put the ball in play. And we can anticipate an onside kick, of course. They have to put the ball in play either by punting it or kicking it. Normally a team would punt.
Seattle, number 9, Norm Johnson, punt.
It is legal, of course, to do an onside kick. And we're going to see exactly what Norm Johnson is going to do. There it is. Tilley has it as the Cardinals anticipated the onside kick. They had their skill people in there, and little Pat Tilley got it with 10 seconds remaining. Neil Lomax has had a splendid day. You folks in the Portland area saw him, of course, perform for Portland State magnificently in his collegiate days. Otis Anderson comes back into the game.
Good job, Joe Dolan.
Well, there's a happy Jim Hannafin. His team has played very well today.
Pat Tilley, when he took that ball, was shaken up quite a bit, but he hung in there. The Cardinals are going to be 4-6-1. Seattle 6-5. Well, it runs out, and the Cardinals win it 33-28. This is the second meeting between the two teams back in '76. The Cardinals won 30-24 in the opener that year at Seattle. A big day for Anderson. Hannafin and Knox, good friends, have a word. St. Louis 33, Seattle 28. Well, Gene, it was an enjoyable ball game, and we saw some magnificent individual performances, and then we saw the Cardinal defense do an excellent job in the second half.
But both teams played good defense in the second half. But the thing that happened today, the receivers from both teams, both Largent and Roy Green, just played spectacular. Here we see Bubba Baker and the crew, and then coming in, that's number 65. That's Dave Galloway, the man who catches Craig back there for the safety. Then Roy Green, what a day he had. 4 touchdowns. Incredible performance. And then, of course, Largent with 3 touchdowns.
We'll remind you that next Sunday, the Cardinals will be involved with another AFC club. Their former coach, Don Coryell, brings the Chargers in. The disappointing and bagged up Chargers will meet Dallas at Jack Murphy Stadium later today. The Seattle Seahawks play the Broncos at Mile High Stadium in Denver. The Broncos going against the Raiders today. There you see the scoring in this one, 33-28. Largent visiting there with Tilley and Lomax as a little picture-taking session is going on. But Largent had himself a fine day. So did Green. The Cardinals have had some inconsistency on offense. We talked about the turnovers and takeaways. But today, Lomax with Roy Green was a very special show. Here he is.